If my feathers look a little more ruffled than usual, I spent all of last night going in and out of raids looking for graphics card, fighting with Chadwicks in tight corridors, stuffing my fanny and my fanny pack full of loose loot in an attempt to extract safely from the only PvE extraction shooter, which is frequently called Tarkov VR. As somebody that's played Tarkov and somebody that strapped a VR set to their noggin like a goddamn squid sucking on your face, exactly what it is. In fact, if I were to go down the line of all the similarities between Escape from Tarkov and Ghosts of Tabor, pretty much the entire game. Maybe that's a video idea. Is Ghosts of Tabor Escape from Tarkov? Just a long comparison showing side-by-side things. You can crypto mine with graphics cards. There's insurance. You can level up traders. There's a hideout. There's vendors. There's going to be a slew of Ghosts of Tabor content on the channel, as well as other VR games such as Pavlov, and even some of the classics like Half-Life Alyx. I know it's crazy to call Half-Life Alyx a classic because it's not really that old. It is still one of the most recommendable experiences if you own a PCVR headset. But the very first topic before I start rolling out any tips and tricks, tutorial videos, or vlogs, whether it's solo or squatted up with the boys, running dank raids in Ghosts of Tabor, splitting through body armor with AP rounds, and dropping down the helmet in a top tier visor. Okay, right now I'm a little Timmy that's happy just to get proper sight picture over my enemies. Before we talk about anything else regarding this game, before you even pick it up, I want to talk about which version do you pick up, because currently there is a PC version that's a dedicated PC headset version. So whether you have a Valve Index or an HTC Vive, a PC-centric headset that's powered by a gaming PC, you're able to run that version. Then, as with many popular VR titles, there's a second version, or a port if you will, that works on the Quest Store, the standalone Quest Store, so you can install it directly from your Oculus Quest 2 or 3 headset. Now that game does have noticeably worse or uglier resolutions, a lower frame rate, worse lighting that tends to be a little bit darker in the already dark corridors of some of the underground maps, and there also seems to be more performance issues on the Quest version, more bugs and hiccups and glitches. So I don't know if it's a couple of weeks behind with patches and updates compared to the PC version, or if it's just that the performance is so much lesser than the PC-centric version, but it does seem that performance is notably worse. Having said that, the perk or benefit to getting the Quest version is the fact that it is a cheaper way to get up and running playing this game, considering that as a standalone headset. And whether you get a Quest 2 for $300 or a Quest 3 for $500, keep in mind you'll probably want to dump about an extra $100 to $150 into that headset to extend the battery life into a somewhat acceptable realm, and also make the headset more comfortable because it's not great out of the box. But with that headset, it is a standalone, so you don't need a PS5 like the PSVR 2. You do not need a powerful gaming PC with a killer graphics card like the HTC Vive or the Valve Index or any PC-centric headset, but you do have the perk or benefit with that headset that you can still play PC titles tethered or wired to your PC, or wireless, with two different methods, either running virtual desktop, or now directly through the MetaQuest store as of a couple of years ago, you can just virtually wirelessly link up to your PC, and the performance is actually pretty goddamn good. Overlaid on screen here is some gameplay captured directly on the Quest 2 playing wireless, a little bit of Half-Life Alyx, and as you can see, not only what I'm seeing, but also the gameplay capture, very solid here. But if you're on a budget, the Quest version is probably what you're going to pick up. And one little side con to going with the Quest Store version of all of these games, whether you go with Pavlov Arena, or it's not called Arena, it's Pavlov, drawing a blank here, Shack, that's what it is. Typically when you get games from the Quest Store, you get a lot more teenagers, younger audience yelling the N-word with the hard R because they don't mute their microphone and they're just yelling obscenities, shooting at the wall. They don't really rush objectives. It can be kind of nice for kill farming because a lot of these younger, I mean, they're pretty much kids with their parents' headsets on, or if they're adults, they just don't know anything about side alignment or positioning or peeking corners. So it's kind of like kill farming for PC players that have like multi-$1,000 VR setups with vibration vests and treadmills so they can run in place. One thing I have noticed though is that generally the PC side of the house is going to be, I'm not going to say a more respectful audience, but these are generally adults. They've spent a few $1,000s on a respectable PC setup. But then every time I attempt to play a Quest title, I've got Najaeus, Brad, and Jerry talking mad shit shit out of my left ear cup and I can't even listen for footsteps. So that alone is one of the reasons that I often steer clear of my Quest 2. Despite all the performance setbacks and hiccups, is just the fact that everyone's hot mic'd in the lobbies because they don't know that out of the box, just like the PS5 controller, there's a mic listening to you, go into the settings and mute it. And it's usually just a younger audience because the headsets are more attainable. So there's more people that are playing. Yeah, you get what I'm trying to say here. That's another reason you should go for the PC version, is that the people you're playing with are generally a little bit more respectful and not as fucking annoying. Also, 2 more benefits of going with the PC version, and this applies to any PCVR title or shoot any PC version of a game versus like any console version of a game, and that is the fact that on the PC side of the house you do have mod support. And modding VR games is often very beneficial because it adds things like seeing your arms or being able to pick things up in the environment that you usually can't, or making the game look completely prettier with a texture overhaul. Ghosts of Tabor currently doesn't have mod support. There might be some loose mods floating around the internet, none that I would trust or verify to install yourself. There's nothing on NYXI mods that's a one-click install or anything like that. That'd be super cool. Maybe when the game's fully released and out of beta. But the next perk is that with the PC version, you actually have the Oculus version as well. When you go to launch the game the first time, you'll have a little pop-up box saying, do you want the PC version or do you want to launch the Oculus version? I, of course, chose the PC version. But the fact is, you do have both versions there. Now, I don't know if it's the PC Oculus store because that is actually a separate store from the standalone Quest store. Huge piece of confusion for Quest owners, at least it was for me when I first got my Quest 2 back like 4 years ago. I was buying some games for the Oculus store and then found out, oh, I can only play these connected to my PC. So you've already got my answer. I've explained why the PC version is the version that I would lean towards unless you're on a savage budget, don't have a PC, or you prefer that standalone wireless nature of the Quest. Another little note, if that's the route that you do want to take, is that currently there is no Quest 3 version. It's just the Quest 2 version that runs a little bit better due to the enhanced hardware of the Quest 3. But software-wise, it's not like a Quest 3 version, a new build. Now I'm going to get back to the review of the big one, Rainbow, which I've already started. Don't let this box fool you, thinking it hasn't even been, that I haven't even busted the biscuits out of this box yet. I have been playing with it. Here's the box. That review will be members only by today, this evening, and then tomorrow it will go public. Sorry, I know a lot of requests for that controller, and you've been waiting on that gamepad review for quite some time. But this was a little impromptu video about Ghosts of Tabor, considering I spent several hours with the headset on last night. Got a little bit nauseous from the verticality and whatnot, fell a couple of times, had to close my eyes because I started getting all woo, but that was fine. You know, still getting my sea legs over here. Real quick, I do want to recommend one little wiggly finger of recommendation here. I do want to recommend a YouTuber to check out if you are into Ghost of Tabor, Timeless VR. The man makes quality content over there. Not only is he entertaining, he makes the game look easy. Before I actually started playing myself, I started watching him, and that dude kind of enthused me to check out the game. I was already thinking in the back of my head, Escape from Tarkov VR, I'm game, baby. But then I started watching some of his raids, and I didn't realize how easy the dude's making it. I'm just thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna look just like that when I play. Even getting the dots of your sight to line up on the silhouette of an enemy's noggin is more of a challenge than you might think. But why I mention this gentleman, other than the fact I do recommend checking out some of his videos. He does tutorials, walkthrough, and also just vlogs of his raids, which are really entertaining. I'm gonna reach out to this dude and see if he might want to squat up and kind of take me under his wing a little bit. Just come in like a hawk. Look out for me in some duos for a little bit. Show me the ropes. I don't know if he's even game for this, but that would be awesome. I'd be honored if you showed me how to play the game like a real man. And I'm sure we could also shoot some dank content for our audiences. Drop in the comment section below what you think of Ghost of Tabor, or what your favorite VR title is currently. Do you like Pavlov? Do you like Alex? Maybe you're playing Resident Evil Village, or you're a racing sim guy and you like Gran Turismo 7 with the PSVR 2 headset on. Yeah, hell yeah. I'll see you buck and Stallions tomorrow. Well, actually later today if you're a member, because you'll be getting an early preview of the big one. If you enjoyed the video, liking it helps it to get seen by more gamers, so this information will reach and assist them as well. Much like the back of the TV, I've got plugs for all of my socials down there in the description below. And your wallet will greatly thank you if you check the description, because there are exclusive discounts on a ton of products, including controllers, KontrolFreeks, keyboards, mouse pads, clothes, and energy drinks. And keep in mind that you, the viewer, keep this channel running. The more stallions and stallionettes trotting around the stable, the better, so mollywop that subscribe button like it owes you money, and we'll have the same amount of fun tomorrow.